we like to talk about box office.
Yes, and an interesting box office it is.
Yeah.
So, Daniel, I know that you don't go to the actual theater as often as I do. You usually watch your stuff streaming or from disc or whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
I don't go super often, but I'd say fairly often.
Yeah.
Maybe like probably 6 times last year if I had to put a ballpark on
It's six more times than I did.
it. I can tell you that Bob Marley One Love, they started advertising that in the late summer, I want to say. I think when I saw Blue Beetle, there might have been a trailer for it.
Wow. So yeah, they've been plugging it for a while.
Yeah, if not Blue Beetle, it was something I saw around in there. Uh, so, so it is, I guess, kind of unsurprising when musician biopics are such a popular genre, and they've been advertising the hell out of it for 6 plus months. That Bob Marley was the top movie,
Yeah. uh,
with, with a
yeah.
pretty respectable per theater average of just over 8,000.
Yeah, and I'm assuming modest budget. Um,
I don't think I've seen a budget.
they
One
probably haven't.
love. I didn't see one on the numbers when I looked earlier. That's always subject to change.
Yeah.
Nope.
No budget.
Let's see if Wikipedia has any thoughts on the subject. Uh, they're saying 70 million.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for a serious movie. And I'm going to guess that they spent at least another 70 million on promoting it. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
now, of course, it's now in the category of Madam Web, where it's now awkward to try to compare it weekend over weekend because like it did like 14 million on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Like
Which is yeah.
yeah, like that's impressive. That's almost as much as Argyle made its whole first weekend just in the one day.
Oh man. Yeah.
Uh, Meanwhile, Madam Web, well, we beat Madam Web quite thoroughly last week because I decided to go see that turkey.
Yes.
Um, I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one who started noticing little logical nitpicks. Like, like I watched multiple reviews and other people started noticing, wait, she stole that taxi cab and she went to the airport in the stolen taxi cab. How is the stolen taxi cab back or still there when she gets back from Peru?
Yeah.
Outside the fact that I had actually given the movie a little bit more credit, I had assumed that the girls had been staying at Uncle Ben's place for multiple days to cover the fact that she went to and from Peru.
Yeah.
But I think with as incompetent as that script is, it makes more sense that she just, just a day trip to fly to Peru, go to the Amazon in a small single seater plane, ride a bus, meet Spider Jesus,
Yeah.
and come back. But people just do that all the time. It takes less time than driving through Seattle traffic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that turkey is getting basted because 15 million opening weekend sounds all right until you realize that like I heard on Midnight's Edge that even the trades aren't defending this thing.
No, they're not. Yeah. Everybody's been coming down on it really hard. When you make such an obvious bad movie, it's really hard for anybody to defend.
Yeah, like at least Morbius had the memes.
Yeah.
There is nothing meme worthy about this movie.
No, there isn't. Yeah, there's
It,
yeah.
this is the room moment, and I'm actually kind of proud that I was there uh, at the ground floor for it.
Yeah.
Sidebar. When I was a child, my mother got me the game Superman 64,
Uh,
and I was at the age still where. And by the way, I'm pretty sure she got it discounted. So that's
I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, and I was still kind of at the age where, and I don't know if you ever experienced this, where if a game was bad, you assumed you just weren't good enough at it or you hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the idea that the game itself was questionable quality didn't really occur to you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And then many years later, I realized just how bad it was. I mentioned this to my mom. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, no, no, mom, that's great. That's
Yeah,
that's a cultural touchstone for N64 kids.
yeah,
So that's what Madam Web is. Rounding out the top 10, we don't have a whole lot of new blood here. Argyle is in there, though it's, yeah, 200 mil. Okay, so Argyle had a $200 million budget, but it's a Apple TV movie, so it's that's
yeah.
just the money to not have to worry about royalties ever again. So we don't know what the actual budget is.
Right. Yeah.
But nobody can be happy about this after 3 weeks. 36 million after 3 weeks is not a good look.
No, no, and I feel bad for Henry Cavill.
His only saving grace is that he's barely in the darn thing.
Yeah. they sure as hell drug him out for all the promotions.
Yeah, because people like him, even
Yeah.
which is increasingly funny to me, considering that he's like, okay, so people like him because he's a nerd,
Yeah.
because he seems to actually genuinely like the fans, and he cares about the lore of whatever he's working on.
Yeah.
But it's like you wonder how much people would like him if all he had to stand by was his in-universe, like with the actual like movies themselves, without knowing anything about him, because he's in a lot of not very great things,
I know.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even the DC movies are just like questionable at best.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
mm,
well. And also, for speaking of Argyle, it's a bad look when your movie is neck and neck for fourth place with a movie that came out 9 weeks ago
yeah,
in the
yeah.
form of Migration.
Man.
That's on 1,000 fewer screens.
Hmm.
We still got The Chosen. I guess this is a new round of episodes from The Chosen that
Yeah,
they're Fathom eventing.
yeah, 4 through 6. Yeah, I think
Yep,
last week was 1 through 3.
that makes sense. Wonka refuses to die because what else is there to put in theaters right now?
Right. Yeah.
And actually, it looks like third through seventh are a bunch of like within 1.5 million of each other. So that's a very crowded, that's a very contentious third place crown.
Yeah. Wow.
You got Wonka, Beekeeper, Anyone But You. So I guess Julia Sweeney at least gets to have one successful movie out this weekend.
Yeah.
Um, Lisa Frankenstein continues to be uninspiring.
Oof. Went from
The
2 to 9. And
average theater, average per revenue theater for the weekend, $666. Ooh, spooky.
oh boy.
Then as far as new movies, we've got the 2024 Oscar shorts way down here,
Mm,
and we've got something called Land of Bad,
Land of Bad.
which that is not a
Looks
okay. So
oh, looks
Liam
like a
Hemsworth action movie. It's only 48 hours to drastically shift a mission gone wrong.
okay. So it's a action movie.
Yep, with Russell Crowe. Okay,
Wow.
so it's actually, yeah, it's got Liam Hemsworth.
The lesser
Okay,
Hemsworth. Yeah.
yes, uh, who also coincidentally is supposedly eventually going to be taking over for Cavill in
Oh,
The
and The
Witcher.
Witcher. Yeah.
Though I don't think they've actually. I don't know if they've even started filming anything with him in it yet. So you almost wonder at this point if Netflix would be better off just quietly pretending that they never made a Witcher TV show.
Yeah.
Also, embarrassing itself is Turning Red with its box office release.
Oh man. Yeah.
Uh,
Way to go,
I,
Disney.
Way to go, Disney. I actually kind of am curious. Yeah, I was looking at the per theater average yesterday. $22. That means on average,
Like
one
two
and a half
people.
people went to see it.
Yeah, I was supposed to say. No, man.
So that means
Empty
that there
theater.
were, yeah, statistically a lot of empty theaters.
Yeah.
I do wonder if it's behind Soul.
Ooh, good
I think
question.
it might be. Oh my God, no. Okay, it's actually significantly ahead of Soul. And that makes sense because Turning Red did get some decent watch numbers. And I actually remember being at a SakuraCon last year, and like there was a character, there was somebody cosplaying it. I couldn't quite pin down who it was, and she was doing one of the minor characters from the movie. So it has at least one fan I know of.
Yeah, just the one.
Yes. But yeah, so as far as trends in the box office, biopics seem to be the way to go. Elvis was also a good performer when it came out.
Yeah.
Supposedly, there's the same director is working on 4 different Beatles movies, each one focused on a different Beatle.
Oh, that was that's Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes. Okay, is he a more producer or?
No, he's a director. He directed a couple of James Bond movies recently.
Okay, that's an interesting move.
Yeah.
Uh, Are we gonna have action Ringo?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that would actually okay. While it would be not suitable for anybody, can you imagine how hilarious it'd be if you had 3 of these be like, standard biopics? You stick to the facts pretty closely, and yeah, there's very straightforward things about most of the Beatles. And then Ringo Starr just portrays him as like a Chuck Norris-ish figure.
Yeah. I might go see that.
Jason Statham is Ringo Starr.
Yeah. I got blisters on me fingers.
Okay, I'm amusing myself way too much.